Welcome back, friends. In this video, we'll look at some bonus ideas that you can use for your project Hangman to enjoy more, to learn more from it, and obviously to earn bonus points. Now, before I go there, however, as usual, I'll tell you some stuff about bonus, which is that bonus comes after basic. You always earn bonus. What you can do for bonus is almost endless. What earns you bonus today may not earn you bonus in future. Bonus is the opportunity to push yourself, try out new things, amaze everybody. But remember, rule number one, that bonus comes after basic. Also, to remember to add instructions and descriptions on the project page to tell us clearly what you have tried. Right now, for a game like Hangman, there's a lot of logic, lot of code, so it gets quite involved quite fast, which means the basics have to be really, really solid before you attempt any of the bonus ideas. Right? In fact, I could think of so many that I had difficult time condensing them all onto this one screen. But here is some ideas. There are, I'm sure, more. You can always try more. The idea of giving you this list is to get you started to think, right? And beyond that, you are most welcome to try your own stuff here, right? Now, the first thing I can mention is that you can make your game visually as well as artistically appealing. So, for example, attractive letters, Hangman costumes, introduction, ending, and so on and so forth. Let's just see it with respect to our class game. It's kind of very simple. There's a text that is displayed here. The letters are a certain font. Hangman is also very simple done. There's not much music and stuff, but you can do differently than this. You can make it much more attractive, and definitely that's a bonus idea, right? Now, you can also think of creating theme-based words, right? So remember, in our class game, we just had five-letter words being picked up, but instead these five-letter words or any number of letter words could come from a certain theme, right? For example, they could be capitals of different countries of the world. They could be countries. They could be flowers or whatever. Now, the important point here is that this particular bonus, right, can be done after the entire game has been created. Because, so for example, in this class game, all I really have to do is to change my list of words, right? So if I, for example, want, let's say, flowers or something, I can go and change the list of words to list of flowers, right? And everything else will pretty much remain the same, right? And which is what I meant, that get the basics in place, bonus will actually follow from there, right? Now, one thing that will happen when you do this, and it's quite likely that it might happen, is that your words may not be of the same length anymore, right? So previously I had like five-letter words only, but you could have maybe five-letter words, six-letter words, seven-letter words. Now I'm classifying that as a different bonus because regardless of the theme, you can still do this bonus. So you can have no theme in the game, that's all right, but you can have mixed letter words, or you can have a theme in the game which by default has mixed letter words, right? Now, we can do this in multiple ways. Like I said, we can give user the choice between easy, medium, hard, or we can do it progressively harder. So, as for example, the game proceeds, it goes three letters to four letters to five letters, or it could just be mixed. For example, that might happen in your if you did a theme-based game, right? But now, what exactly do we have to change? So let's see from the class project. It's actually very simple. Class project assumes that every letter is a five-letter word, which is why the guest letters as well as the letter space assumes this five, right? But what we have to really do is that we have to look at the word, choose a word, determine how much, or rather like how long the word is, and accordingly we have to go ahead and set these lists, right? Now, if you're doing it progressively, which means that first, three-letter word, then a four-letter word, and so on and so forth, the same thing applies. First choose the word, determine how long it is, and then go and set these lists, right? So because the basic structure will be kept intact, right? In fact, that's what I'll talk about a little bit later, right? Now, next, I can display the previously used letters on the screen. So what do I mean by that, right? Remember, when the game is being played, the user enters a correct letter that does get displayed on the screen. Let me just show you what I mean here. So for example, I'll try to guess the word here. Let's say the letter is A. A is not there. I do not know what happened to it, but let's say E. So now E is displayed here, but I've probably forgotten what all I've tried, right? So it'll be very nice for me to display the letters that I'm trying out over here, right? Now, this makes the game quite interesting. It also involves a little bit of coding, and what you really have to do is that in here, right, when you get a wrong answer, you can just write that letter over here because the letter is really inside the answer, right? Now, kind of related to this, but not so much, is this whole idea of a virtual keyboard, right? Now, virtual keyboard is something that it's quite interesting. I thought the whole idea is that we'll give user a keyboard using sprites and clones, and the user can just click this, right? It turns out that displaying previously used letters in a virtual keyboard is somewhat easier, but I still treat this as two different bonus ideas because you can display previously used letters in in the previous method also, and also in a virtual keyboard. Both of them require work, and hence these are all separate bonus ideas. Now, as far as virtual keyboard is concerned, let me show you from my enhanced game what I mean by this. Let me see this. Okay, so here notice when I click this, I have got, apart from other things, I've got, let's say this kind of a keyboard which where I can click and enter the letters. Now notice I'm changing the color, so it tells me what letters have also been used, right? However, uh, I've done some work for this. I have a separate video about this topic, so please take a look at that, so that you can understand how that virtual keyboard has been done, right? Now, moving forward, I can have a situation where the game does not end just after one word, right? So basically, our class game ends one word we get right or get wrong, and that's it, the game gets over. But what I could do is that I can have the game going on and on, which means that I can, have a situation where after celebration, the user gets to do one more word, right? And in fact, that's where this whole thing about progressively difficult or say mixed length of word comes, that I can have a situation where I start with a 3 letter word or say a 4 letter word. Then if I get it correct, I go to 5 letter word. If I get it correct, I go to 6 letter word, and so on and so forth. But whenever I do that, remember, I have to make sure that the word is not repeated, right? So which means that I have to again keep one more list of chosen words and make sure that the new chosen word is not a part of that list, right? So a little bit like the fortune teller game. In fact, I've done this in the enhanced game. It starts with 4 letters, but if you keep playing it, you will realize it goes to 4 letters to 5 letters, 5 letters to 6 letters, 6 letters to 7 letters, and so on. And after 8 letters, it just keeps giving you an 8 letter word. Now in here, I have created a my block to do this. It's a little bit involved, so look at it carefully. Basically, for every attempt, I keep counting. Do I have to count a 4 letter word, 5 letter word, 6 letter word, 7 letter word, and so on and so forth. Now these lists are available on the website. In case you are interested, you can get this from there, or you can obviously get them from somewhere else also. Moving forward, you could use timer to integrate the timer in scoring, which I think is interesting because there's a certain element of speed in this game. So some people take a long time to think about it, whereas some might do it really fast and get it fast, let's say get it right or wrong, right? Now you can include timer for every word or every letter or for the entire game is obviously the easiest, which is what I have done in my enhanced game, because I focused on so many other things. But you can do a little bit better. So you can tell a user that maybe even if you have only one word, you can tell the user, okay, the shortest you took was say 1 second, or the longest you took was maybe 3 minutes, because user was thinking for a long time, perhaps, right? So timer for scoring, I think, is a good idea. And finally, I come to this particular point, which is somewhat involved, the whole concept of lifelines, which is helps and or hints, right? Now, what do I mean by this? Helps are basically letters told to the user directly. So I tell user A, and the A could be part of the word, or it could be not a part of the word, right? Whereas hints, I mean some kind of clue given to the user. So for example, I can say, okay, look, the a hot drink, which is a letter T, for example, right? So I have this is somewhat involved. I have given videos for help as well as hints, right? Now basically what I do is that I start with the class game. I first do a virtual keyboard, and then I do this help, and then I do this hint. So there are 3 videos. Please make use of those to understand what's going on. But you can see this also in my enhanced game, right? So if you see this enhanced game, I have these helplines, I have these lifelines, which I can use only once, right? So if I, for example, let's say, I start this and I want to get a hint, so I take a hint. It says 2 something in 3. What I meant is an E. I get an E. Let's say I can then get a correct letter. So it helps me here. It tells me correct letter. I can ask it to remove some number of incorrect letters for me, which it did. And I can, but now I have only, one lifeline left. I say I do this as well. All my lifelines are gone, but now I have to solve this problem. But if I do solve this problem, then I go to say 5 letters, right? So that is my enhanced game. Now I do want to make it very, very clear to everybody, and I sincerely request everybody, do not just try to copy the enhanced game, because there is a lot of code in there, right? You are going to get confused. It's not going to help anybody, right? It has taken me a lot of effort, I must say, to one, to come up with that game, two, to also create these 3 videos, which I mean the virtual keyboard, helps, and hints, where I've really tried to go step by step and tell you how this whole thing is coming together, right? So please make use of those videos. Try to do this yourself in your game, right? Of course, you can refer to the enhanced game. You can get ideas from there, but try not to copy it, because it's really going to confuse you, right? So go step by step, enjoy this whole process, and I hope you'll like this. Be systematic about it. You will learn a lot. You will enjoy a lot. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.